Welcome to Butte Farms, 4J. I'm so glad you guys can be here today. It is a rainy one, but perfect timing because the rain just stopped. So I'm excited. We are in this fun barn that is filled with all kinds of creatures here. And our lovely host, Miss Casey, is going to show us around the farm. And we might go outside right away because it's clear for a moment. So we'll head out. And but before we leave, you can't miss this cute little guy. His name is Zippy. And he's a little piglet that is how old?
3 months.
3 months old. And he's chowing down on some food. Yes. So we'll get to see more of Zippy. I think Zippy likes to follow Miss Casey around, so we'll see some more, but he's also hungry. I'll be hungry. All right, so we'll head out, see what else is on this farm. So this farm, Butte Farm, is out. We're out kind of not far from where we were with Green Hill. We're in that same area of town, and she has geese and chickens and ducks and alpacas and goats, and there's more. And I'm gonna let her take over, and she's gonna show us some and introduce us to some of her fun feathered friends.
There's the 2 alpacas. That's Gary and Larry. And they're just here to alert the other animals. They're not good at protecting, but they do alert. They are very friendly. Lots of people use alpacas for their fiber. So they get shaved once or twice a year, and people will turn that fiber into yarn and then turn that into clothes. It's very warm, warmer than wool. And alpacas are in the same family as camels. So they have a 3-chambered stomach, and they do spit.
3 pink chambers somewhere in the spit.
So what do they do with a 3-chambered stomach?
It helps digest their food. And as you can see, they poop in the same piles, and their poop is perfect for gardens. It doesn't have to be composted or let sit. It can go straight onto your garden. So if you ever need some fertilizer for your garden, I'm your person. Or Gary and Larry are your person. The goats that we have here are friends with Gary and Larry. Gary. And they are fainting goats. They're called myotonic, and that just means that their muscles will stiffen up when they get startled.
So they actually faint?
They actually faint.
Like just keel over and faint?
Yes.
What?
What I was told is that they were bred to do that back in the day when farmers would put them with their prized flock of whatever they were trying to keep safe. And then if a predator came, the goats would faint, and those would be the ones that would get eaten by the predator and save the rest of the flock that they didn't want.
Oh my gosh.
Now,
Crazy.
here's Gary. Now they're great pets for people to have. Some people do eat them, like to do. The babies are called crias, and actually, so this one is a cria. This one is now probably not considered a cria anymore because he'll be 2 in a few months. And cria fiber is the softest fiber of the alpacas. So that's highly sought after. And I can't even explain how soft it is. It just feels so good.
So what is made out of them? Is it sweaters or
sweaters, socks, blankets?
Awesome. Okay.
It's different than wool because it's warmer than wool, and it doesn't have barbs like sheep's wool would. So it's not itchy like sheep's wool.
Okay.
And also they don't have lanolin in their fur like sheep do. So a lot of people are allergic to lanolin.
Oh,
and
Right.
so they can use alpaca.
Yeah. Let's go visit the birds.
So check out the birds. Fur Butte Feathered Friends is how I started out. I basically started out with chickens. I got my first set of chickens from a fellow friend who's in 4J. So hi Nadine, if you're watching. And basically they were my gateway to craziness here at the farm because I love all animals. So I just kept getting more and more and more.
Yes.
So at first I just started out doing it to sell the eggs to people from fresh eggs. And now I really like to sell chicks. So I have different breeds. My kids have both chose breeds that they like. And this is them right now. We're not doing any sort of breeding, so we don't save the eggs. But when we do, when it's not rainy like this, we incubate them. And it takes 21 days for a chick to form fully and hatch out of their eggs. And it never gets old. It's always exciting every time one hatches.
And you have some chicks somewhere right now?
I do have chicks. I will run in and grab a chick.
There's a little baby in there, a little egg.
Yeah,
Not a
that's
baby, just an
that
egg.
one's a duck egg. It probably is fertile because I have males and females. Well, I have one male duck and all the rest females.
Okay.
And they are called pekin duck. And they can be, well, they're good bug control. They eat slugs. But they are a meat bird, so people could process them if they wanted to have that for meat. That's my goose making that noise.
Oh boy.
Those are guard animals, so they like to make that noise to alert people that they're in their territory. These are called Sebastopol geese, and they have those funny curly feathers like that on purpose. That was some chicken rendezvous. There are lots of roosters and mostly hens in here, but
Now, what's going on with this one with the feathers, Dragon? Is he okay?
yes, that's the Sebastopol geese.
Okay.
And they have those feathers like that. It's just the breed, and they look terrible right now because it's so rainy, but they actually are really pretty in the spring. My grandma is from Sebastopol, California,
Okay.
and I heard about the Sebastopol goose. I didn't even care what it looked like. My grandma was my favorite, and so I ended up getting them. And they're not cheap. They're about $100 a bird.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she did lay eggs this year and sat on them. And the goose, Gander, the goose is female, Gander is the male. He's real protective. And if you went anywhere near her, he would let you know not to get close.
Oh, wow.
And she would only come off once a day to eat and drink and then get right back on those eggs. And they're about the size of a softball. They're very big.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
It's an omelet itself.
That's
Yeah.
big.
Yeah, a big omelet.
Right.
These speckled ones are my favorite. They're called a speckled Sussex. And I just like them. I don't know why. So
Yeah.
you see a lot of those because I like them.
What color are their eggs?
Their eggs are brown.
Okay.
These white ones right here are called leghorns, and they lay big white eggs.
Mhm.
There's that little brown one or brownish gray back there. That one is a cream crested leg bar, and it lays blue eggs.
Ooh.
And if you mix a blue egg laying hen with the brown egg laying rooster or vice versa, you'll get green eggs from their chicks.
Whoa.
So then that's where they come up with ones called olive eggers, Easter eggers.
Right.
And so a lot of people get into breeding the different chickens for the egg color, not necessarily even
Just
for
the
the breed,
colors,
just
okay.
to see what kind of colors they can get with their eggs.
So can we see you have some other special birds? Can
Yeah.
we see them?
Yeah, these are Copernic Celadon quail. So they lay blue eggs. And I hatched these. If I can get one. I hatched these eggs. Put my hood back on. These will fly, and we'll never catch it if it gets away. My cat might catch it. I had these eggs shipped from California, from Sebastopol, actually. I got to meet the farm down there called Alchemist Farm, and I hatched out of 18 eggs. I had 17 hatch.
Wow. That's
Wow.
good.
So it was good. And they should all lay blue eggs. Really cute little
Nice.
tiny eggs.
Those are cute.
And this is full grown.
Okay. As big as they get.
That's as big as they get. So people use quail for eggs, but they also use them for eating.
Okay. Yes.
And this is Peaches. She's our other pig. And she is only 4 months older than Zippy, the one that we saw in the barn.
You're gonna pick up this one?
Look at the difference in the size. So this is 4 months older than Zippy.
Only 4 months. And she is out here. We were going to put Zippy in here with her, and she's not interested in Zippy at all. So someday when he gets a little bit bigger, we'll put them in together.
So right now, where does Zippy live?
He lives in the house.
A house pig.
So
That's so fun.
he's kind of like a baby right now. He eats and then naps, and he has a little blanket in the living room, and he'll just pull it around like a dog would and make a bed, and then he lays there and snores. And then he'll wake up, and you take him out, and he'll go potty just like a dog or a puppy, and then he'll come back in and go back to sleep.
That's amazing.
At night he sleeps in the kennel. Hi.
And he doesn't wake up or anything? He
No.
just sleeps through the night.
Just sleeps through the night.
That's amazing.
And yeah, and you just take him out right when he gets up, and then he doesn't potty in the house. So it's
wow. That's fun.
nice. Peaches never did that. She's always been outside. So what we're planning to do is we put her in here because this actually used to be a garden. And as you can see here, she's done all of this with her nose.
Wow.
It's called rooting.
Yeah.
And so we're going to make this back into our garden. That end one that's not quite finished with the roof is going to be her new house with Zippy when they become friends. And so they'll be kind of on that side of the fence area. This is a electric fence or netting, and that keeps her in.
That's awesome.
She knows when it's off, and she'll pull it down and go over the top or try to squeeze under if she finds a loose spot.
So when it's electrified,
She stays away from it. She can hear it ticking.
okay.
She stays away from it. If she gets out, she goes straight for the front orchard and tries to get the apples or any fallen fruit, which there's none now.
She's
but
smart.
she is very smart. Very smart. Pigs are super smart.
Yes.
So we feed her pellets and pig food, and then for scraps and stuff, she loves pumpkin. Just fruits and veggies. We don't give the pigs any junk food, chips or anything like that.
But they would eat it.
Oh yeah, they'll eat anything.
Okay.
Anything.
Okay. Wow.
And here comes Farmer Brian.
Brian, nice.
Brian is who built all of my coops.
Wow.
Raised beds and stuff. Yeah, that's our goose that feeds him.
Well, do you mind answering some questions?
Sure.
Okay, let's see if we can call on some people who might have some questions here. Like a question for Farmer Casey.
Yeah, I can see there's a lot of chickens.
Yes, there are a lot of chickens.
How many chickens do you have?
So normally I wouldn't have an answer to that, but the other day I decided to count them. And just out here, I got around 80.
80 chickens.
Whoa!
Yes. I have chickens at my house, and I have questions about the ones you have. Do you have Brahmas, barred rocks, speckled Sussexes, and black stars?
Yes, I have. There's a barred rock right there. She's screeching her head through. And next to her is a light Brahma. That one's a pullet. That means she is a female that has not started laying eggs yet. That one that's walking up next to her, that is a speckled Sussex rooster. And there's a speckled Sussex hen. Black stars I don't have.
They are hybrids, and I think when they get to be full adult size, they look really, really cool.
Sorry. We have a lot of chickens.
Why do you have so many chickens?
Is that what he said? It's by accident. I have incubators in the house and I get the eggs out here and I hate throwing them away.
Oh,
And I know they'll turn into a baby, so I put them in the incubator. But I have my incubator off right now, so I'm trying not to do anymore.
Right. I know. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
How do you take care of the piggies?
The piggies, that's a good question. So Peaches, really, she does everything on her own. She has that little dog house over there, which actually is usually pushed more towards the middle, but she rubs against it. So she's moved it. And she just sleeps in there at night. There's straw in it and she flips it over her like a blanket and she's fine out here by herself. So we feed her.
Even when it gets really cold?
Even when it gets really cold. So we're hoping that over there, the end coop, we can put her house inside of that covered area and that will be warmer for her. But pigs have a lot of fat, so they stay warm. And she's happy just sleeping and rooting, doing all this digging with her nose. And we feed her 2 times a day, 2 scoops, maybe 3 scoops in the morning. And then in the afternoon, she might get a little snack like a zucchini or a pumpkin or something that I have, fruits and veggies. She likes all of those. She really likes blueberries too.
So we're going to make our way back to the barn where we're going to end with the goats and a story, but we can have a couple more questions on our way to the barn.
Now health is in. Do the chickens just lay chicken eggs to lay babies, or do they lay eggs? Do both?
So a chicken will lay an egg, and you can, if the mama sits on the egg for 21 days, it will turn into a baby and then hatch out of the egg. Or you can put it in an incubator and they hatch after about 21 days. Or you can eat the eggs right after they're laid.
Now, are the goats eating the pumpkin over there?
Yes.
They like pumpkin.
They do. Especially the seeds are supposed to be good for them because it helps. It's a natural wormer for their guts because they eat anything.
Okay.
Kind of like pigs.
Right.
That's actually mommy and her baby there, but he's not a baby anymore.
Okay, so we're gonna head back into the barn here. I don't know if you, look at, here's Zippy. Zippy's still eating. He's the birds. Oh my goodness, he's busy.
Yeah, just keep eating until he can't move. Look at his belly. You're a piggy.
Oh,
You're a little piggy.
That's amazing.
He does like to cuddle in bed too.
Oh,
He cuddles with you in bed?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
They're actually pretty clean animals. I mean, it's hard to tell right now because it's muddy outside, but they are clean. They don't like to sleep. They poop in the same spot too, just like the alpacas do. Poop and pee in the same spot down in the corner so that it's not in their living space. They like to be clean. Oh, Piggy.
Hey, and then we also, what kind of bunny did you have here?
They are French locks.
I don't know if you guys can see the bunny very well, but this bunny is pretty cute.
That's Mr. Waffles.
Mr. Waffles, let's see. if
And
can
we
get
had
some.
them in a cage, but they were always jumping out because I have his girlfriend. He's fixed, so no babies. But they always were jumping out, so we just decided to let them be free. And so they have made their way out to the barn, and they live out here in the evening, right at dusk. They'll come out and eat and kind of
He's
wander around
big.
out there with the goats, and then they'll come back in.
The big bunny.
They are big.
This little stall in here. Maybe we'll get some friends, but we are going to say thank you, a big thank you to Miss Kelsey for having us
Casey.
here. Miss Casey, okay, sorry. Miss Casey, thank you so much for showing us around and for all the fun. Thank you, Farmer Brian out there. Diesel. Oh, and here's the little friends. So I'm gonna pop a squat here and read a book. That's all right.
Here comes Diesel. I knew he would.
Hi, Diesel. So Diesel is the goat. He might keep me company
Diesel's very friendly.
as I read to you.
Both just one.
Just this one. I think, for now. Oh, guys, look at this. Will be fun. Hi, guys. Maybe we'll just stand and read. That'll be fun. So my book today is called Duck and Goose. I thought it might be a good tie-in. And it's written and illustrated by Tad Hills. I love this illustrator. Remember my illustrator word? He wrote the words, drew the pictures. And Duck and Goose are sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I love his illustrations and I love this story. Duck and Goose. Oh my, what is that? Duck quacked. That's a silly question, Goose honked. It is a big egg, of course. Of course it is an egg, I know that, huffed Duck. What I mean is, where did it come from? Goose looked skyward, he looked to the river, he looked to the fields. He thought very hard. Who are you? He asked finally. I, said Duck, puffing out his feathered chest, am the one whose egg this is. I saw it first. Goose quickly raised one webbed foot. It's mine. I touched it first. Hey, you should never put your dirty foot on an egg, Duck scolded. Don't you know anything about caring for eggs? Yes, I do, Goose cried. Stop yelling, Duck yelled, then whispered forcefully. Don't you know anything that you and your screaming are very disrupting to the baby bird who is trying to take a snooze inside this egg? Goose wished that Duck wasn't right. He lowered his head and whispered softly, I'm very sorry. Go back to sleep in there. I'm going to go ahead and sit down on the buckets. My, that's quite a beauty you have, called the bluebird from across the river. Thank you, it's mine, quacked Duck. Actually, it's mine, honked Goose. Thank you. So, asked Duck, what do we do now? We should do something, suggested Goose. Yes, you are right. Good thinking, agreed Duck. Like what? Duck and Goose each thought. Somebody wants a little taste of my book here. This egg is private property. Duck's eggs. This is Duck thinking. No geese allowed. No honking. $5 fine. If you are a duck, keep walking. No ducks beyond this point. Quiet, please. Absolutely no quacking in this area. Well, you are a friendly little goat. Somebody's hungry for some book, huh? Well, we must keep the egg warm until the fuzzy little occupant is ready to come out, said Goose. Excellent idea, exclaimed Duck. He pushed past Goose. Step aside and I shall do just that. But Goose was quick too. After a flurry of fussing, grunting and groaning, slipping and sliding, honking and quacking, Duck and Goose found themselves back to back. Scoot over! I don't have any room, complained Duck. You are much closer to me than I am to you. Stop yelling in my ear, Goose. Shh, Goose hushed, pointing at the round thing beneath them. Yes, we must remember to be quiet. We mustn't disturb the little one. And so they sat very still and very quiet, waiting. For a long time, they waited. They listened to the crickets chirp and the frogs burp. I am going to teach this baby bird to quack like a duck, Duck boasted. Well, I am going to teach it to honk like a goose, Goose honked back. I'm going to teach this baby bird to waddle, Goose added. So am I, Duck said. They heard the pitter-patter of the rain. I'm going to teach this baby bird to swim, Duck said. Me too, Duck said. To pass the time, they sniffed wild flowers in the warm sun and shared breadcrumbs while Goose taught Duck to honk. They watched the sun set in the sky and Duck taught Goose to quack. They counted the stars in the night sky. Let's teach our baby to fly, said Duck. Good idea. Said Goose. Good idea, said Duck. I'm sure our baby will be a fast learner, said Duck. If it takes after you and me, I'm sure you're right, agreed Goose. Together they waited until... Did you feel that, Duck? Duck nodded. Yes, did you feel that, Goose? Goose nodded. It's time, Goose, it's time! Quickly, Duck slid down and started running in circles around the egg. What should we do now? He hollered. I think we should remain calm, Goose yelled back. Excuse me, a little voice called out. Duck stopped in the exciting confusion. He had failed to notice the bluebird kicking their egg. Play? This is no time for playing, yelled Duck. This is no time for games. Yo, woo! Well, hello, excuse me. This is no time for playing. For games, yelled Goose. And what's with the kids? Hello. Hi, sweetie. We have a little friend joining us. I was only trying to get your attention, said the little bird. Well, you got it, Duck huffed. False alarm, Goose. Back to work. Can't you see that we are very busy here? Goose explained to the bird. This is serious business. This is perhaps the most important moment of our lives. Oh my, I am sorry, apologized the bluebird. I had no idea. I just thought that maybe I could play with your ball. It really is a nice one, she added, and then flew away. Goose gulped. Didn't she say ball? He whispered. You know, I did have my doubts, Duck finally said. It is a bit squishier than most eggs I've seen. Yes, I must say I was somewhat suspicious of those big dots, Goose admitted. It may not have been an egg, but it is lovely, Duck said. Oh, absolutely, Duck, he said. It's a keeper. As the crickets chirped, the frogs burped, and the grass swayed in a gentle breeze, Goose quacked and Duck honked, and the ball bounced, rolled, and sometimes it even flew. That is Duck duck, and goose. Thank you so much for joining me today. You were totally flexible with all the different places we saw. And Miss Casey, thank you so much for having us. Thank you, alpacas and Dennis? Diesel, the goat. We're so excited you were here today. Come back next week. We'll see you. We're going to go visit the 4J kitchens and see how all the food that you guys get to pick up is made. As thank you to all the wonderful people doing that. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye, 4J.
Bye.
Just be careful, geese.